The Department of Justice is looking into why it took Uvalde police officers more than an hour to engage the shooter at Robb Elementary last week. Authorities say officers entered the school just minutes after the alleged gunman. However, he wasn't stopped until a Customs and Border Patrol tactical team arrived an hour after his rampage began. Joining us now is Joseph Moreno. He is a former counterterrorism prosecutor for the Department of Justice. Joseph, welcome. Help us better understand what should have happened during the police response in Uvalde.
Sure, Lana. So, I'll make the caveat that, of course, every day that goes by, we're learning more, right? So, this is a constantly evolving situation. But from what we know, what should have happened is that the target should have been engaged. It's a bedrock principle of a mass shooter event that you never assume it's a hostage situation and hold back. So, what should have happened was officers should have engaged the target immediately. And from what it sounds like, we had somewhere in the range of 19 officers standing right outside the hallway for up to an hour before that eventual action was taken by someone else.
So, what is the Department of Justice hoping to learn?
So, Lana, remember, they're not looking at the underlying crime, right? That's being handled at the Texas level, possibly by the FBI, depending on how things evolve over time. What this critical incident review will look at is how was the incident handled by local law enforcement, right? We've seen the DOJ do this in the past. They're very thorough. They will look at facts. They will create a timeline. They will look at how local law enforcement interacted with state and federal law enforcement that may have been on the scene. They'll look at the amount of time that elapsed from the initial call to the ultimate resolution of the situation. And they will take a very, very objective look at what went right and what went wrong.
Joseph, you say that we've seen this happen before. How common is this type of investigative review? And tell us how it's complicated, because we've heard that it seems like the officer in charge is no longer answering questions and helping assist, and not to mention the fact that so much incorrect information was initially released.
That's right, Lana, which is of course troubling just in itself, that the amount of bad information that came out in the immediate aftermath of this horrendous attack was an indicator that something wasn't wrong right from the get-go. These kinds of reviews by the Department of Justice are not terribly common, right? This one is being done at the request of the mayor of Uvalde, which is a good thing because you want transparency and you want a separate set of eyes to come in and look at what happened here. Um, what we've seen in prior reports is that the department will be very, very clear on their thoughts about how local law enforcement performed. And again, without getting ahead of ourselves, because a lot of facts still needed to be gathered, initial indicators were that this was an absolute disaster. What happened down in Texas took a horrendous situation and made it worse by really botching the response.
So along those lines, is it possible that this investigation might lead to charges against any of the people who were involved in responding to this shooting or making these calls?
So not directly, Lana. What this fact gathering process will do is look at the response itself. Now, it might elicit information that could lead to a separate investigation, and that could be done by Texas officials. It could be done by federal officials, depending on where it goes. But certainly, criminal negligence charges are possible. We give law enforcement officers a lot of authority and we give them a lot of deference, right? And not second guessing their actions. But there are instances where there is such a dereliction that it cannot be ignored. So at a minimum, you could certainly see careers ended here. But yes, to your question, charges are certainly a possibility.
Obviously, there's a lot of people who want answers. Tell us how this probe might affect the way that police officers respond to future shootings.
Well, Lana, if there's anything to be taken away from these events is that we've got to learn, right? We've got to learn how to do better to prevent it the next time. And so each time one of these things happen, we take what happened and we try to say, okay, what went right, what went wrong, and what can we do better? So whether it's a question of tactics, resources, training, coordination between different departments. These are all things that hopefully a very clear, fact-driven analysis by experienced law enforcement officials will take a look at this situation and say, these are the things that went wrong, and these are the things that we can do a heck of a lot better going forward.
All right, Joseph Moreno, thank you.
Thanks, Lana.